A day late, but not a dollar short. We're back. Welcome to the show. I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm just Terrell. You ever been out somewhere and overheard two people having crazy conversations?
Yeah, well, we are those people, and we've been having these conversations since college.
That's the regular guys, random thoughts. 90 Day Fiance, season 9, episode 5?
Yes,
recap.
Very good. See,
yeah,
I like this. You are right on point. I mean, you start to slow down as you start to get the name, but you know exactly where we are.
Yeah, well, it's almost said Married at First Sight, so that's why they're all just starting to blur together. But so episode 5 of this crappy show, here we are.
You're liking it. Quit lying. You're liking it.
No, I don't. I don't.
Look, for those of you new to the show, let me explain to you why Terrell seems a little reluctant to do this recap, right? And why we're actually doing this. So, he's never really been a big fan of reality TV, and sometime in his past, and a long time ago in a galaxy far away, he made a deal with the devil and said he'd never watch reality TV, never watched The Bachelor until they had a black bachelor. And guess what? Pandemic hit. And they brought in a pandemic bachelor, Matt James. So while Terrell was stuck watching it, you know, me being the good friend that I am, I watched it with him. And then him being the good friend that he is, in return, watched one of my favorite shows, Married at First Sight. We checked out season 13, because if you watch season 12, you know how crazy that was, that you had to get his opinion on season 13. Now, here we are, another favorite. Now that they have reset 90 Day Fiance post-pandemic, what better time to get him addicted to another great reality TV dating show than now with 90 Day Fiance season 9.
I have an addictive personality, but it's not going to happen with this show. So
I think you just told everybody that you're going to love this.
No, I'm going to love making fun of it because these people are just crazy. I just don't understand. I don't understand why you want to go on reality TV, but whatever. But every week, I'm just hearing these conversations. I'm like, y'all been talking for 2 years. Y'all haven't figured any of this stuff out yet? I just don't get it.
There's a lot, you know, the interesting thing that you talk about that, especially that they didn't talk. One of the things we found out in our first couple that we addressed today is we take it to Salina, Kansas, by way of Cameroon, Emily and Kobe. And I love the fact that Kobe brought up at some point throughout the episode that we talked about this. He told us, he didn't tell her that.
Yeah.
But now, when we see them in this episode and it starts off, the fact that he is trying to set rules in her father's house. Mm-hmm. Yo, Kobe, slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Oh my gosh. He kept doing it again this one. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
We could have named this episode Oh my God.
So I would think that over this period of time when he was in Cameroon and she's in, Salina, Kansas, that maybe she's video chatted while breastfeeding.
Right.
And so that would have been a good time to have that conversation then. But she's been doing this in this house and they've been doing it their
mm-hmm.
way. Who are you to come in to say anything and to do anything different? Right. And then to pull out the, in my culture, the man's the boss. I'm like, well, good luck with that. Welcome to America. Because that's not going to happen. Until you start making money, you ain't the boss of shit.
Yeah, especially when you're not in your own house. I mean, you got to tap out until you're in your own house. But then you also got to understand that it's a little different here. I mean, we watched that happen on 90 Day Fiance fans have seen this happen before, especially when you've got these white women that go get these African men and then they go to Africa and at the same time try to exert that American female dominance over there. Like, you're on the away team right now. You got to watch what you do in the away team's house. And that's what Kobe needs to do here. Look, you are wearing the away jersey and you're in the daddy's house. Mm-hmm. You might want to slow down. I like that the dad tried to stay out of it. He was just like, oh, well, I'm going to let you guys have your conversation. I'm going this way.
Well, I mean, I respect that's what he did. He let mm-hmm. them to talk and work it out, and they're going to have to do that. There's going to be a lot now that they're cohabitating. They're going to have to figure out a lot of things. I do also like that Kobe and Coben are starting to bond, and and that's starting to pick up. I think that's great. The dad had me laughing because he was talking about, well, you got to have a plan. And I'm curious, like for these people that are doing this, especially the men.
Yeah.
What's your plan? Hey, I'm going to go there. I know I have to wait 90 days. While I'm waiting those 90 days, I'm going to take an online course. I'm going to start figuring out resumes. Like, what's their plan?
Wait a minute. I want you to understand something. They have 90 days to get married.
Right.
He still can't work for like 6 months. And as some of these other couples, if everybody that watches Pillow Talk has seen some of these other couples who go like, well, it took us a year before I could work, there is an extended period of time before you can actually get the work paperwork done. Because, you can get married. You have to get married because of the visa. But then past that, you still have to be eligible to work in the country. So it's still a longer period of time. So it is not even 90 days. And you're right. What is the plan? What am I going to do? The problem is a lot of people come with these big expectations. Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this. And the reality is like, I know that's what it looks like on TV. It's not how it works in reality.
Right. Well, there's construction, right? We all know a lot of people who work construction might not be legit. There's ways to make some money. There's ways to make some money. And, until then, making money under the table, whatever. Get back in shape, model some underwear.
So twofold: construction to get back in shape, then model some more of them tidy whities. But I do believe that this big black man standing outside of Home Depot in Salina, Kansas, is going to draw the attention of some other folks.
You want me to break down that shiffer robe?
Oh my God! One of the things you pointed out though was the fact that Kobe and Coben are starting to get their bond a little bit, right? You saw a little bit of that. But I think one of the things that really just kind of irritated me, two things. One, him and the breastfeeding was one thing. Mm-hmm. But to watch the way Emily then goes and makes things like, don't wind him up. It's time to you're messing up our routine. You knew he was coming, right? I mean, he didn't just pop up on you, right? You knew this was coming. And then come to find out, you're going to kick him out, send him to the next bedroom to go sleep. And I get it. You're trying to put the baby down. But at the same time, this man has not seen his son in 17 months, but via video chat. I'm sorry. You got to expect this for the first, and I get it. You want to keep the routine. But weren't you supposed to get the bigger bed?
Well, I think that's just Emily being spoiled.
Yes.
And, her parents have taken care of her. Remember, I mentioned that because you brought up that she was teaching English in China. But I'm like, I think her parents are doing some things to help her along the way, right? And so she's just kind of spoiled. And even the grandma says that, hey, we do whatever Emily says. So she's going to have to adjust, too. She can't pull that. And sometimes it's not the end of the world. You get the baby out of their routine for one night.
Right.
It's not the end of the world.
You just brought something up that I look forward to this when Coben starts throwing these temper tantrums. Because it seems to me, because remember, Emily's the wild child of the family, right? The two sisters, one's got her shit together, then there's Emily. So apparently, we do what Emily does because Emily used to throw temper tantrums when she was younger, and everybody just used to, all right, Emily, here, have 14 pieces of candy. So it's going to be fun to watch when Coben does that back to her. And I can't wait to see her dad go, ha, ha, ha.
Well, see what happened, because old Cameroon don't play that. Come here, boy. Put your lips out. Go back in the room.
Oh my God!
Just sound just like him.
Really been,
oh my God!
Oh my God! This episode is all about culture shock because I think that's the culture shock for Kobe. This episode is understanding that the women can run the household. This is not the old school values of that he's accustomed to. Bilal and Shaeeda. I thought that the meeting with the kids was really awkward. And honestly, I blame Bilal because he should have made it a little easier and a little more comfortable. You got a shy fiance. The kids are who the kids are. Make it a little more comfortable. Y'all go out and do something instead.
Yeah. the whole meeting the kids thing, I think, and I'm sure he probably had a whole lot of conversations off camera, but he could have made it easier for Shy. Now, also, Shy has to work her way out of that because you can't, there's nothing more annoying that if I meet somebody that's shy, I probably wouldn't date them. But even if they were a little bit introverted, I'm going to say, hey, if you're meeting my family, I'm going to need you to turn it up a notch. Just turn it up when you're in my family. I don't want you to be sitting there quiet, and I got to keep checking on you, babe. You okay? You want some drink? You good? I don't want to do all that. I want you to be able to use your mouth and speak. But what I didn't like is Shy telling them that she wants them to call her Umi, which is mom. Mm-hmm. So when my mom got remarried, my stepdad, I call him by his first name. And we asked, like, what can we call you? And he was fine with that.
That's that disrespectful shit y'all do over here, but go ahead.
No, he was okay with that. But it made sense. I already had someone I called dad. I'm not calling you dad. And if I get married to someone, I'm not going to call her mom my mom. I have one person I call mom. My stepmom, I never called her mom. I called her by her first name. So maybe that's an American thing, although my stepmom's British. But I just thought that was a little presumptuous to say in your first meeting with the children. Maybe down, and in her mind, it's a thing of respect and all that, but build a relationship with the kids first.
Yes.
And then you can talk about that, but you just can't like right off the bat, oh, hey, yeah, I want y'all to call me mom. Now go clean your room.
No, and I think her thing was, I get what you're saying, and I totally agree with you on that. That Umi, because it means mom, means mother, is a little too much, right? Because they do have a mom, and they do have a mom that's completely involved in their lives, and you got to earn that, and you got to earn them saying that and understand that they may never say that, okay? But the other part of it too, for me, is I think kids are not supposed to call adults by their first name, and I that's a culture thing, right? It's a culture shock in this part, because again, you're an adult. If you get married now, yes, you're all adults. So I don't expect you to call your new wife's parents mom and dad. Of course, you got a mom and dad, right? But at the same time, it's either Mr. Terrell. If you start dating a woman seriously and she's got kids, they shouldn't be calling you Terrell. They should be calling you Mr. Terrell. Because they're still children. If they're children. Now, if they're adult kids, they're like, they're out of high school and they're grown and got a job and paying their own bills. No, hey, Terrell, what's up?
No, I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight on that, because if I married someone that had kids, I wouldn't want them calling me Mr. Terrell. It just feels weird. Just Terrell would be fine. Now, if I ask, right? And I think that's what I would do with someone's parents. What do you want me to call you? Because I can't call you mom. I'm sorry. Right. What would you prefer? And they might say, hey, call me this, or call me, Miss, whatever their last name is. Call me Your Highness. But
well, that shit ain't happening either.
But I mean, I just think you just ask the question. So I'm not bothered by that. And it could be because, I was around their age when I met my stepdad. And so I get it.
Right.
So to me, it's not that big a deal. Now, with Shy, though, the thing about her that got me is she's 37, right? Mm-hmm. And she's been dying to have children. Mm-hmm. Why haven't you had a kid yet then? You've been engaged twice. She
wasn't married.
She was engaged twice.
Okay, but she wasn't married.
I totally get it.
She wasn't married.
I totally get it.
Okay.
But you could have done that already, for you to get all emotional with your sister. And I love her sister's like, you can take one of mine. I thought that was funny. But I'm just like, I'm just wondering, what is the story behind why she never got married to the other two people she's engaged with, and she really wanted kids all this time? Okay, what happened?
If you wanted kids, would you just marry somebody just to have kids? No, I mean, if there's a reason that they broke up, there's a reason that they broke up.
I'm just curious what it is.
If it's something that they did, yeah. But the fact that you're like, oh, why don't you have a kid yet? That always strikes a nerve with me, because I hate it when people would say that. Well, you're 32, you don't have a kid yet. Yeah, you're right. I don't have a wife yet. I don't want a baby mama, and some people don't want the baby mama, baby daddy thing. It's like, all right, I want the house. I want the house. I want the household, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And for anybody out there, don't let anybody like Terrell shame you.
I didn't shame
talking about, well, why don't you have a kid yet? No, you just did. Why don't you have a kid? If you're over 21 and you don't have any kids, what's wrong with you?
This is the Yanni tactic, where he tries to spin whatever I say into something bigger and make it seem like I'm preaching from the church of Kevin Samuels. My question was,
yes, you are.
My question is, if
calling
she
her
is,
a leftover,
if she has been, if she has been that passionate about having, I'm just curious. I'm not saying why don't you have kids yet to judge. I'm just asking what has happened in the previous relationships, the previous 2 engagements you had, that after 7 days of meeting this person, you say yes to the dress, and then wait 2 years to come to Kansas City. What happened with the other 2? Like, why is it this point that we want children? And I don't think Bilal probably wants to have another one. So now she has a decision to make.
Here's the thing. Bilal knows that she wants kids. And this is a conversation that you have. And if they didn't have this conversation early on, that's a problem. Because you should have that conversation early on. My wife and I had that conversation very early on. She's like, look, hey, if you want to have kids, then we got to do it soon because this, and this. I'm like, all right, we cool. You know? So, but that's an early conversation. And I think the problem is that people don't have these conversations. You talk about why aren't they talking about these things? This is one of those big things. He knows she wants kids, and he just still tries to play it off like, even when the kids asked, he's like, well, no, they're asking you. Stop being a kid. Seriously, grow up.
Well, I think it could be, and again, I'm making a huge assumption here. I think they've talked about it. And I think he probably did what a lot of guys would do, that's caught up in infatuation and lust. Oh, yeah, sure, it'd be great. Because also he's thinking, what if this doesn't work out? You know, I haven't seen her since forever. So I'm just holding on to video calls and stuff like that. So what if there's a possibility that this just doesn't work out? So I'm running with it. And then now it's like, oh, crap, she's here now. And, in 80-something days, we're supposed to get married. Okay, I got decisions to make. And I think she should have pressed a whole lot more, because if he tells her he doesn't want to have kids and she decides not to marry him, that's 2 years of her life and her womb that was wasted. And that's his fault, and hers. But that's 2 years that you just wasted her time. She could have easily found some other sucker from the U.S. I'm sorry. Geez. She could have found some other guy from the U.S. to bring to the hood of Trinidad if she wanted to.
It is not her fault that he fell in love with her yoga poses. Okay, it is not her fault. He's like, ooh.
I mean, I get it. You see an awesome downward dog. You're like, you know what? I'm in.
This is the life. Sign me up.
Warrior 1, Warrior 2. I get it.
Oh my God. It was interesting to watch Ari and Bini as they arrived in New York and headed to Jersey. I just try to understand why she was trying to really kind of like control his thoughts, right? And that's the first thing I thought, which is like, we dreamed about this, right? Like you can see it's like y'all barely landed and she's already trying to throw that controlling part on him. Or is that just something that I just saw and I'm making a little more?
Oh no, she's definitely the alpha. I just don't like Bini. I just don't. They're in a weird situation because her family, probably has some money. It might not be rich, but they have some money. And I was kind of taken aback the fact that the mom goes and gets this nice, expensive 2-bedroom apartment, and it's got to help furnish it and all that. And then says, hey, so we need to talk about when y'all going to start being able to take over everything, especially knowing that Bini can't work. So, and then I don't know what she does, but my guess is she can't afford, so they still got to figure that out.
I want to say she was a freelance writer, because again, and it's like Emily, because she traveled the world a lot before. Like she was in South America, decided to stay there for a while, and this is all the backstory that you missed because you didn't see the other way. And then she went to Ethiopia, and she met Bini and was like, I like it, and I'm staying. So she stayed. But again, that freelance writer, just the freedom to just do whatever. Because her dad's a doctor, her mom was a nurse practitioner, I think. So They had money.
But yeah, but I mean, you're putting them in a spot that there's no way they can start taking over the payments in 2 or 3 months, which is kind of what the mom suggested. And if if what you said is true, that it could be 6 months, a year before Bini can land a job. Now maybe his music thing is going to take off between now and then.
No.
You know, he could be the next American Idol. I don't know.
I agree with you on the thing with the place. I think it's like they could have almost done 6 months or a year, but because at the end of the day, that is a lot. But you got a chance to see what those of us who watched the other way saw, which is the place that he had for her when she was pregnant. You saw what that bathroom looked like. You saw what the kitchen looked like. Refrigerate? Oh, we don't refrigerate. You know, that's the kind of stuff the mom saw first. So she's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you up. I know you guys say you want the 1-bedroom, but this is probably better because you have a little one. He's going to need some space. He's going to need this. And at the same time, I know Ari's like, well, we wanted the less expensive one, but would you have had the money to cover that too? So I get it. And I feel you in the sense of the parents should have probably given a little more, not just, hey, you did. So we got you this place, we furnished it, you take over the payments tomorrow. Yeah. You know, we got you the highest speed Wi-Fi. We got you the most cable channels ever.
And you're only 5 minutes from us.
We got you a free babysitting service. So you got it, right? Like, no, they just landed. She's still got to get her stuff back up, get her freelance work back, and have some revenue because he can't work, like you said.
Right.
And Benny's such a big dreamer. I'm scared for him.
Well, whatever his dream is, good luck. And, you know, hopefully he could see his other son. Now, I wonder now that he's back in the States, could the other parent go after him for child support or back child support if he's not paying child support?
Right. Well, it'll be kind of tough considering she'll have to wait till he's actually in, you know, not a citizen, but at least a resident, you know, once they get married and all the paperwork's through before that happens, because trying to do it before is not going to happen. And just even looking at the preview for next week, and you see his dreamer mind going, oh, we could live here in New York. Slow down.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure she's probably looking at...
This is what I said. I'm scared for him.
This is your second reality show? You got some reality show money coming in. I need a check.
Yeah. And it's not as much as you think.
I know it's not, but something's better than nothing.
Very true.
Yeah.
And, you know, I wonder, the real question becomes, and maybe somebody knows and can tell us below, who gets paid? Is it the American that gets paid, or do both parties in the couple get paid? I haven't quite been able to figure that, because I've heard two different things on that. But, you know, and I guess in this next dynamic, do all three get paid? Because, you know, this throuple we have going on here with Patrick, Thais, and John. Your name.
John from Boston.
Is it me? Thais really seems like a really nice person. She's beautiful, she's smart, she's a model, but she's just batshit jealous, and she's also a liar.
Yes. So, no, she's not a nice person, because nice people are not psycho jealous and liars. So I thought that was the fact that she's not telling her dad that she's going to get married. I think that's a shame, personally. I think any dad that has a good relationship with their daughter, they wouldn't want that to happen to them. And so I think that's not a good look that she's doing that. You
know, the thing I didn't like with Thais is the fact that she was like, her dad is jealous. No, he's not jealous. He's just a protective dad, right? And I'm sorry to tell her this, but he already knows the truth. He's just waiting on her to tell him the truth. Like, he knows that she's leaving to go see this dude and probably planning to stay there. He's not an idiot.
What do you think gave it away? The cameras? Was the cameras and the microphones in this
stupid ass show? and I love the fact that she's even like, where did he get that American men take advantage of Brazilian women? Everywhere. Everywhere.
It's I've heard that for a long time, that the women in Brazil, woo, But yeah, I'm like, I don't see how his dad doesn't know, or her dad doesn't know. And then oftentimes when you watch like the making of, you have labels and logos and stuff that says 90 Day Fiance on it. Do they hide all that from the dad too? So I'm like, he knows what's going on, but he would love to hear it from her.
Yes.
You know, and supposedly he doesn't like Patrick. And so there's that.
It's like, it reminds me of when my mom would just ask the same question over and over and over and over and over until finally it's like, fuck it. Yes, I did it. It was me. Yes, parents know, and that's the thing. You know, as a kid, you always feel like, oh, I can get one over on them, and you can't.
Her whole attitude about John, though, that's family, and family comes first. Now, Patrick's gonna have to figure out a way to make that work. And you know, I saw him trying to rock the Tesla and all the special features of the Tesla, since it's, you know, Austin has a gigafactory here, but he's got to find a way to make that work. She just can't come in there out the street and say, hey, this is our house. It's my family. He's not my family. Well, I don't like him. I hate him.
Well, I don't think she says she hates him. I mean, and there's some truth to what she's saying. In fact, like, well, because here's Patrick going, hey, I already told John we're going to have a quickie. And she's like, well, is he going to be close to us? Like, you know, and I get it. It's not, you're not in college anymore. Come on, Patrick, grow up. You know, but again, he is fresh. He is fresh in this dating pool. Remember, his first girlfriend became his first wife. It doesn't look like he dated a whole lot since then. Then he lands this woman that he knows is out of his league, or he believes is out of his league. We come to find out she's a liar, so maybe she's right there in his league because he's a cheater. So I mean, they gotta go hand in hand. And now John is gonna hear many things. Speaking of kids, Cara and her kid Guillermo, you know, they went to go see her family, and Cara acts so oblivious, man. I think she's a little oblivious to everything else that's going to happen. I don't think her mom is. Because even her mom was like, yeah, I think he may have a harder time getting that big job that he wants. Because she recognizes where she is. She's in Charlottesville, Virginia. Tiki torch. Enough said.
Well, I liked what Kara's mom was saying, because she's like, I know Kara will be fine. She'll make money with Guillermo. I don't know yet. Mm-hmm. You know, still has to be seen, because you were waiting tables, you know, back home. You weren't like a investment broker. You weren't the manager of the restaurant. You were slinging drinks, hooking up with Americans. Mm-hmm. And all like he said, like,
so Kara was slinging balloons. What you talking about?
I like how he said her uncle asked him if, you know, have you met any other American women? Yeah.
Oh, Guillermo, you got to learn
one, but I just kissed him, and that was it. I'm like, you stop it. You save that. And so they're like, what was the difference between Kara and those other ones? This, what, did she put out first? That's just bullshit.
She came back.
Yeah, but I do like the fact that the uncle, you know, did his research, did a little social media stalking just to see what she's getting into. I'm like, yes.
I knew you'd like that.
That's something that everyone should do. Look people up, Google them, see what you find.
Yeah. I think with her uncle, here's what I liked about her uncle, because I was a little worried about the way she set them up and the way she described them. I was like, oh boy, here comes the uncle's probably going to be one of these, you know, crazy folks who's got, you know, doesn't really care about, you're an American now, boy. But he didn't. He was nice. He was cordial. He was friendly, but he was cautious. Mm-hmm. And I like that because like Cara said, he's like her dad. It's her uncle, but he's taking that father figure on with her, and he's still going to be protective of her. But he was nice to Guillermo. He's like, no, hey, what's up? Welcome to the family. I am keeping my eye on you. Just remember that. Very cautious, but still nice, because some people are cautious and not nice at all. He was very nice about it.
Yeah, it's like Meet the Parents. Robert De Niro.
Yeah,
watching you.
The uncle won me over because I was prepared not to like him at all. I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, I like the uncle. I just want to see how Guillermo, when he wants to be treated like a man,
Right.
you have to step up and elevate your presence to be treated like a man by other men. You know, he just seems just so like he's a kid, which he is. You know, really think about it. Compared to us, you know, he is.
Yeah.
But I'm like, even when I was 21, 22, if I met another man, I'd shake that hand for him. Hey, how you doing? My name is. Look you in the eye. I'm not going to act all weird. But that's just what he does.
No, I mean, we know you went to kindergarten in a suit and tie. So I mean, Jesus Christ.
It was not a suit and tie. It was a cardigan.
And a briefcase. I've got my toys in here.
No, it was an attaché. It was not a briefcase. It was a Merce. I was rocking the Merce back when it wasn't popular.
He was already on his European-ish. Oh my God. Yve Mohamed. This episode could literally have been the Manchild episode, as we've seen a lot of man children in this.
He's another one.
But the poster child of a man-child is Mohamed. Jeez.
Just the way he talks. Just the way he talks.
You were going to make me breakfast.
Yeah, well, my mom would make me breakfast, and I was just disappointed. But where are you going? You got to go to work? Call in, stay here with me. I don't have to make my first breakfast in America all by myself. And then I guess they don't have YouTube in Egypt because he couldn't YouTube how to put together a bidet and watch some videos and have that done.
Well, to be fair, you want to make sure you get that right. I've never used a bidet. I'm sure you haven't either. But I'm sure you don't want the wrong water pressure.
Okay, but he's used a lot of bidets. So out of the three of us, he should be the one to knock that out. That should be a project. He'd be like, I got this. Give me this. Give me this.
He's eaten a lot of breakfast before, too, but he never cooked that shit.
Apparently not, because his mommy always did just listen to him talk. I'm like, Yve, you have 2 children.
And speaking of communication, this is where you are so right on they need to have this conversation.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Because she's like...
Can you say that again?
What?
That's all right. I'll just rewind it, put it on repeat after you...
I have no idea. I think you have a glitch on your side or something.
No, but go ahead. I was so right, but go ahead. That's what you were saying.
So, in the fact of they need to have more conversation, right? Because think about it. She's like, well, with Mohamed here, he can watch my son and I don't have to worry about where to take him and where he will be. And Mohamed's going, well, this is good for one day, but I don't want to watch him every day. It's like, and you need to make my breakfast before you leave and fix the bidet. So they had absolutely no conversation. They were unrealistic on how this was going to work. And I think this man-child, the second child that she has taken on, I almost feel for her. Almost.
I don't.
Why not?
Huh? She signed up for it. I don't feel bad for her. She chose this. So it wasn't like, you got grabbed off the street. Hey, this is Mohamed. Y'all got to be together in 2 years. You chose this life.
To be fair, the abs grabbed her, and she was on the spot.
Yeah, but I mean that's just what it is. And then the fact that, and there's nothing wrong with him being Muslim, but in the culture that he's coming from, how in the sneak peek of the next episode, where he's frustrated about her and the plumber, the man that she got in to come in and do the job he couldn't do. You're not supposed to be in a house alone with a man. It's like, this is America, dude. And you could try that, but that works if someone else was raised that way and groomed that way. You just can't come to a single working mom's house and just try to run shit. I just don't see how that's going to work.
And this goes for anybody, whether you're coming from another country, from another state, from another city, or another street. You don't go into somebody's house where you're not paying the bills and think you're going to tell them what can and cannot go on in their house. It don't work like that.
Exactly.
At all.
Exactly. And I think for guys, especially, single moms are phenomenal, right? There's so much work that it takes to do that. And they find ways to make miracles happen Don't you dare walk in their house trying to throw out some do's and don'ts in their house. Nope. She's been doing just fine without you for a long time. Mm-hmm. So just because you're coming in young and hot, don't mean you have the say-so that you think you do.
And if you don't want somebody else doing it, then you do it. But like Terrell and I can tell you, we make enough to pay somebody else to do it. I don't have to change the goddamn tire in the car. You know why? Because I called you, you come, you change it.
All day.
I can, but I don't need to.
No. But again, you got the set for the bidet. Go on YouTube, watch some videos, teach yourself how to do it. Because what else are you bringing to the house right now besides this little boy energy? You're not bringing anything to the table. And so I would think like for me, if I was in a situation where I couldn't work, I'm going to want to do something to make me feel like a man in this house. Yeah. You know, and outside of the bedroom, I want to be able to do something that I'm providing. I'm contributing something to the house. He can barely scramble some eggs.
I was about to send you the Blue Chew. You can help you out there a little bit, buddy.
but yeah, I mean, I think he should be able to look up something, but he's just not contributing anything. And I wonder how long is Yve's leash or fuse before she snaps? Because I know her friends are going to push her because she's going to try to vent to her friends. Her friends are going to be like, "No, we told you."
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's good. This is going to be an interesting season. See, you're invested. I like it. This is what I'm talking about.
I'm invested for the people that subscribe and listen to this do this. I'm invested for them. Taking it for the team. Oh, I hate it, but I'll do it for these awesome people that comment. But I would love to hear what other people think about some of these folks in the comment on this 90-Day Fiance, especially this Yve and Mohamed thing. I would really love to hear, especially if there's any older women that have dated men half your age.
Dated a Manchild.
Well, but there are some people his age that are like men doing things. They're balling. I just don't see what he does. He was living with his mommy in Egypt, and now he's with his other mommy, his bonus mom.
I call you Iggy. Hey, don't forget, we do these episodes every Sunday. A little late this week just because they decided to cancel my flight and had to drive all the way back. We just didn't have time to get it done yesterday. And somebody fell asleep. I'm not going to tell you who. And then Wednesday, we usually do our Married at First Sight episodes on Wednesday. But this Wednesday, I'm going to be locked into a lot of stuff. So we're going to drop it Thursday evening. So we're still going to drop one this week, so look out for that as we recap the first part of the reunion, Married at First Sight, Season 14, Boston.
It's almost done. First part of the reunion. That's just an annoying phrase. Because that tells me there's a second part of the reunion. I'm just like, just show the reunion. Knock it all out in 2 hours.
And then there's a Where Are They Now?
Knock it all out in 2 hours. At least you'd be done.
You love it. Hey, I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm Just Terrell.
Make sure you follow us at Yanni Rude, at Just Terrell, and at RGRT Pod.
Yeah, send us some of your random thoughts or some of the bullshit you find on the internet. We'll talk about it on our show.
It's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.